How's everybody doing? Good,
Right.
good. I have a bad foot, that's why I wear these only in here. Thanks. And we're gonna get everybody pad and pen. Paul's doing that. So welcome, everybody. I'm gonna wait till Paul comes, but the meeting's already being recorded, so I guess I could start. Dhyana is the name of the talk. Dhyana, stopping, looking deeply, and touching our true nature. Welcome. Let's take a mindful breath together. Breathe in quietly and breathe out smiling. Okay, thank you. You've just practiced dhyana, even if you didn't know it. We usually think meditation is something that happens. Repeat. Thanks, Paul. We usually think meditation is something that happens only when we're sitting cross-legged with incense burning. But Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us that dhyana is simply stopping and looking deeply. When you stop running, not just physically, but mentally, and you look deeply into what's right here, you're already practicing dhyana. The word dhyana is ancient Sanskrit. Bobby mentioned some of the words are Sanskrit. So that word is. In Pali, it's jhana. In Chinese, it's shan. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And in Japanese, it's Zen. So when we say Zen meditation, we're literally saying dhyana meditation or meditation. Because we are. In early Buddhism, dhyana referred to deep states of concentration, the mind becoming still, unified, radiant. But Thich said, don't worry about trying to reach some mystical level. Just breathe, walk, and sit with awareness. That's dhyana. So you've already done it many times, so you're doing it right now. He once told his students, dhyana is to stop running after things we think we need, and to stop running away from things we fear. That's something we can all relate to, right? We run after jobs, cars, relationships, even enlightenment, and away from silence, boredom, and pain. So dhyana is our invitation to stop and come home. When we stop, we can see what's really happening inside us and around us. Thich used to say, meditation is not to escape from society, but to come back to ourselves and see what is going on. When we sit quietly, we start noticing, oh, I'm tired. Oh, there's a little sadness. Oh, that cup of tea was wonderful. Meditation is simply befriending ourselves. When we come back home like that, our mind becomes less scattered, less stormy. We begin to see clearly. And this clear seeing, vipassana insight, arises naturally from dhyana. We don't have to chase enlightenment. It's like muddy water. If we stop stirring it, it becomes clear all by itself. Tai said, when our concentration is solid, we have the capacity to look deeply and see the nature of interbeing, the nature of no birth and no death. Let's unpack that. To have solid concentration doesn't mean we become rigid or intense. It means our mind is stable like a mountain. When your concentration is solid, you're not blown away by every gust of thought or feeling. A noise outside doesn't pull you out of the moment. A worry about tomorrow doesn't kidnap your peace. It's the difference between looking into a clear lake and a lake full of ripples. When the water is calm, it reflects the sky perfectly. When our mind is calm, we reflect reality clearly. That's what it means to have solid concentration, a mind steady enough to see deeply. In Buddhism, the Noble Eightfold Path is the Buddha's roadmap to freedom. Tai often said, it's not a ladder we climb, but a circle of 8 petals, each one nourishing the other. The last petal is right concentration. Samyak Samadhi. Many of you probably heard that word, samadhi. This is dhyana, the art of focusing our mind on one thing in such a way that understanding and love arise. When we sit with our breath, that's right concentration. When we walk and feel the earth under our feet, that's right concentration. You just did it today. When we listen deeply to someone without judging, that's right concentration too. And from this concentration, something miraculous happens. Insight arises. We begin to see what Tai called interbeing, that nothing exists separately. The flower is made of sunshine, rain, soil, and time. We too are made of non-us elements. Our ancestors, our teachers, our food, the air. When concentration is solid, this isn't an idea, it's an experience. You feel your connectedness. You can't harm another being because you see it is also you. That's true nature. Not a mystical soul hiding somewhere, but the reality that we and life are one. Tai said our true nature is peace, joy, and love. It's not something we have to create. It's something we have to remember. Imagine a pond in the forest. When the surface is still, you can see the moon reflected perfectly. When it's churned up by the wind, you think the moon has disappeared, but the moon was always there. Our true nature, our capacity for love and understanding is like that moon. Dhyana is simply allowing the water to settle so we can see what's always been shining inside us. When we practice mindful breathing, walking, or tea drinking, we discover this quiet joy, the joy of being alive. We stop being a human doing and return to being a human being. And that being, that presence, is our true nature. Sometimes we take meditation too seriously, like we're applying for the job of Buddha. Tai loved to smile and remind us, smiling is a kind of meditation. A smile is the proof that your concentration is solid. So next time you find yourself caught in a long grocery line or traffic or family drama, you can practice dhyana right there. Stop, breathe, smile. That's enlightenment in slow motion. When we stop running and come home to our breath, we find that everything we were looking for has been here all along. Our true nature is not in the future, not in the distant heaven. but in this very breath, this very step. So remember Ty's words. The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the earth. Walk gently, breathe deeply, smile often. That's Dhyana. And that's something and that's coming home to who we truly are. So that is end of the talk. And now we're going to do exercise. And I want us to do it separately at first. And then at the end, we'll come together to groups. That went fast. Okay. So the first question, so I'm going to ask you questions. Everybody has a pen and a pad. Do I have one too? Can I get one?
Yes.
Okay. I might have something to say. Thanks. Okay, so the first question, and people online, please do it too. How many people we have? Just Paula? Okay. So the first question is, can you recall a moment, even a small one, when you touch your own peace, love, or joy without trying? What happened? What allowed that to happen? I'll repeat it. And you may not, but hopefully you can. But can you recall a moment, even a small one, when you touch your own peace, love, or joy without trying? What happened? What allowed that to happen? When do you notice you're running? What are the ways you notice yourself running? And what helps you stop and come back to yourself, even for a moment? So there's two parts to that. What are the ways you notice yourself running? Like just, doing stuff. Could be, you're not dealing with stuff, or you're just doing your to-do list. Yeah, you have pain and you're not dealing with it. You're just running from things. What are ways you notice yourself running, and what helps you stop and come back to yourself? What does it feel like when your concentration is solid? So think of a moment when you're completely present. Maybe watching the sunset, listening to a friend, holding a child, petting a dog, petting a cat. What was that like? How did it change how you experienced that moment? Wait for a bit. Okay, next one. This is, this question is around, how does your interbeing change your response to others? I have a hard time with this one. But have you had the experience, so there's two parts to this. Have you had the experience that you and others like the same? I'll tell you how I actually worded it. Can you recall a time when recognizing your connection with someone or something soften your heart or change your reaction? Yeah, so can you recall a time when recognizing your connection with someone or something soften your heart or change your reaction? The last one could be a little challenging. This one, I want you to describe something simple. A cup of tea, a plant, or even your breath. That may not be that simple. Well, the other, yeah, so maybe an apple, an orange. Just see if you could do at least 3 sentences, if not 4. Just describe, pick anything you want, but don't make it too complicated. And just because this is an exercise on looking deeply. So just call it looking carefully, but I call it looking deeply. So why don't you take a few minutes to do that? Describe something simple. Color, if it has a sound, does it have a texture? We're going to get into groups of 4. Don't do it yet. And I guess for Paula, you could probably ask yourself, Paula, what's your overall sensation, your overall experience from answering those questions? And then at a little before 22, we're going to come back and say out loud our experience from answering these questions and from listening to the talk. So basically, I'm giving everybody roughly, let's say 15 minutes, maybe, yeah, 15 minutes. So groups of 4, you're going to share your answers and share your overall experience of what you've been getting. So you're going to have about 15 minutes in the group. I'm not going to time, you're just going to, but in groups of 4, one group will be, I think, we have 13. So one group will be extra. So I'll get in a group with somebody. All right, we'll come back like 20 to the hour. So Paula, if you want to come back, which I hope you do, 20 to the hour. And then we'll ask people what they saw. All right, does that work? Groups of 4? Thank you. Buddy. Thank you, everyone, for doing those exercises. We got roughly 10 minutes. So what I like to do is, I want to start with the last one, since I know some people didn't even get that far. But let's start with that, and then we'll open it up to anyone who would like to share about any of their answers. But let's start with description of something simple. Would anybody be bold enough to share their description?
I will.
Go ahead.
I was I was drinking a